Hello again, it's Joy. Before I start the video, I would like to thank everyone who came right out the bat supporting me, to all of my family members who show support. Um, it means a lot, and I hope that this channel can also help those family members and just anybody, in many different ways. So thank you. I debated on what I wanted to discuss in this particular video because I had two different things that I wanted to talk about in a major way, but I finally was able to decide what I wanted to talk about. So, I think everybody's been in a situation where there's been like a person who's like, well, you know, you haven't been through what I've been through, so like how you feel with your situation, it doesn't really matter too much. And I first want to say that is complete bullcrap, but also, you know, don't allow a situation like that to make you think like that, because at the end of the day, our feelings matter. You know, how you feel matters. Like if something happened to you and it caused you to become paranoid, let's say, or you know, maybe you became more cold towards people, or maybe you just discovered about yourself that you don't want to be around too many people or something like that. You know, even if it was something simple that made you choose to do that, and this other person that you know maybe is that way as well, but they had something major happen to them and that's why they feel that way. It doesn't matter what took place. What matters is it made you feel a certain way, and it you have your way of dealing with it. you know um I dislike when people discredit other people's emotions and different things they've been through, because at the end of the day, every single person in the world right now has gone through something that has made them feel some type of way, and made them kind of set certain things within themselves and in their life so that maybe they don't have to feel that way again. But then let's look at situations where something happens to somebody and they turn out completely different. Like, a perfect example I could give is like, okay, say person A was molested as a child, and so what they did was, they were like, well, this happened to me, so I'm going to protect myself. I'm gonna make sure that, hey, people can only get so close to me. I'm just going to try to keep going on with life and just cope. But it made me feel this type of way. And say this other person, was raped. Person B was raped as a child, and so they were like, well, yeah, that happened to you, but this didn't happen to you. You just were, somebody just touched you, so you don't understand what it feels like to have this, that, and the other happen to me and stuff like that. That is a perfect example of how not to react to somebody with the emotions. Instead, this person, yes, person A didn't go through the same experience, but you both felt violated. That's the point, and it's better to have someone to talk to, because you get to express those feelings. Hey, I felt terrible when that happened. And once you express feelings like that, it's easier to cope with it. Like, a lot of people have a hard time expressing just their wherewithal, what's all going on in their head. And that's completely understandable. I myself was once like that. Like, I didn't like to just tell people how I was feeling. I didn't like to tell people when I was going through something. I, like to keep my stuff personal and just keep going on with life. I had goals, I had ideas, and I was like, you know what? it's even no point in talking about it. But what I discovered is that's wrong. Some people can you just keep going and not express themselves, but there's always that little feeling there, and if you're like that, you'll know what I mean. There's this little feeling there within your chest, and it's hard to explain it, and that's because you can't unless you express yourself. And once you express yourself and you get that off of your chest, you'll realize that it goes away. And that's because that was that hurt, and anything that you were bottling up inside, it's just what you're releasing. But I want you all to know that your feelings most definitely matter to me. I don't care if it was small, big, or whatever, and that little bit of hope that somebody is willing to listen to how I feel about something, even though this was small and banal, or maybe this was big thing, it's hard to talk about. Your feelings do matter, and always keep that in mind. Always remember that what you feel, what you say, how you approach situation, it matters. Don't allow anybody to belittle your mindset, because whether it's hard to believe or not, everybody can pour out wisdom by pouring out their emotions. And that sounds like, nah, but it is true. And I say that because if you're feeling something and you were to express it, maybe somebody else was feeling that way, but they also was having a hard time expressing it, and they were like, this person is brave enough to express themselves. This person, can release whatever is holding them back. Maybe I can talk to this person because I know that they'll be able to understand me. And that's what this whole thing is about. Understanding one another, and once you have a great understanding of one another as on a human being level, person to person, once you have that understanding, it is so much easier to realize that you aren't alone in the world. Even if you feel alone, even if you feel alone, there are people who understand. It sometimes takes a long time to just see that. It sometimes takes a long time to, have somebody that you meet that they can understand where you're coming from, that you can trust them, that you can talk to them and they won't shun you for different things, for maybe something you've done, for maybe something you've said, for something that's happened to you. And as crazy as it sounds, there are people in the world who would judge someone from an experience that they had that wasn't even their fault, and so it's difficult. It is so difficult to just be open. But, I want this to be a community of people where everybody can have this understanding and speak to one another, with pure hearts, and just help one another. I want us to all be able to just, even if, let's say, I created this channel. Let's say that I got such a following that, I'm communicating with the different people who, are inspired, and, maybe I was having a bad day. And I'm talking with people who have this understanding, so it's easier to express myself, and maybe that will help cheer up my day. Who knows? That's what I want this community to be about. This channel is not for me, it's for us, and that is a major for me. So always keep in mind, your feelings and emotions and your opinions do matter. Do not let anyone in this world belittle you or underestimate your mental thinking space. And that is all I have for this evening. So have a great day, night, whenever you see this. Again, feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you wish to. Thank you.